was calculated whether they're going to give them, the regions which they asked for or not, and then they lost not just the regions but also the country and so on and so on. So the history is written by the power of individuals. Individuals are starting certain movements, and that's also about all of us around the table. First of all, to realize that we also have like freedom of actment and freedom actually of making decisions. So the second thing is like if we are now aware of that, like how we can group ourselves, knowing now these challenges, so that actually we can be more stronger with actually when the risk knocks on our doors, and it's already next year potentially, because we know that the cultural funds will be cut more than expected. Mm-hmm. And this is just like one sentence or like one thing out of all the script. Knowing in the same time that the ultra right in Germany will potentially have few more points next year on their list as well than the plan. So, and we should not forget also what's happening not just in Germany but also in Europe. But I'm just getting back now. This is something which is just like context in which we are working. But what we can do and what you have suggested, I'm totally up for it. Is what we can actually do. What are these now niches in which we can actually enter? What can we actually solve for these potential groups or actually us around the table in this moment under the umbrella of this project? What can we do? Because we did not assemble just to actually, talk. We also assembled to potentially. Yes, I mean, of course, we have assembled to share all of this fragments of our own practices, but of course, that what I'm saying, I'm not expecting that we will in this moment now produce something, but we can definitely open up suggestions that we can meet and actually do something together, whether projects or initiatives or applications or whatever.
Yeah, that's plans.
Shamila and I talked a bit about basically also tools of solidarity, so what you can do, and that there's so many, all of us have resources and skills that from time to time you forget about them. You forget about your own skill, about your own resource, and about the ones from people sitting at your table who are in with you for the same thing. You forget about the power that actually lays into that. And I thought your question was very, very interesting. What are you really what are you afraid of even? Why is there this shared feeling of anxiety right now? And I thought about it for the past minutes, and I think for me it's really this feeling of resignation, being overwhelmed by too many bad changes that affect you in any way, emotionally or directly through, for example, no money for your work being cancelled because of whatever, and just that people who actually have so much power and have the skills and the resources somehow they resignate because they don't feel powerful anymore. And I think what gives hope again and gives the strength to do it again is really to connect and do things like this. Although it's a very small scale, you will go home and feel a bit more held. Oh my God. Yeah, a bit more people holding your space, and I think that's very important, and we need to make ourselves aware of it over and over again, that there are those people. Yeah.
I also had some thoughts about it, because I think, for example, from what I learned a lot from Ukraine and then through this war in Ukraine is that self-organization works the best. Mm-hmm. And this is something that unfortunately only happens when it's really, really shitty, too shitty. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think here, unfortunately, what I experienced that fear comes and people freeze mostly with the fear, and when it's actually already time to act, which is really, really bad, because I think now it's time to act and also like to go on the streets and to join different protests.
Yeah.
And I think this is something that normally happens only when people, when everything, yes, when it affects you directly. And I mean with Ukraine, for example, and I think our families, what we can share here, were affected a lot by the war, and then our friends. But I think what we, or at least I can speak for myself, what I have learned is that you still in this time can create solidarity. This is something you still can like self-organize. You still can do things even under the threat of like that your life is threatened, you know? Even under this fear, you can still organize, you can still do, you can help others. People under bombs went to help others, you know, knowing that they might be killed. And this is something that I think can happen. And this is something where I feel like, okay, maybe let's not wait until the time when it will happen. And I mean, like self-organizing can be also on a very small scale, actually, just helping a neighbor. To be honest, I think you don't have to, like, you know, go and overthrow the government right now, but also like do the small thing. Maybe now we No, but I think also these small things, I mean, that's how grassroots movements work. And the more grassroots movements there are, the more power there is. And I think, I mean, the best is to know that you're not alone, and there are many people fighting on different fronts, and you cannot cover all of the fronts at the same time, but knowing that there are people doing this, people doing that, and then when you're together, then yeah, but I think it's important because, I mean, in Ukraine, that's how the civil society functions for now, you know? Some people have help people with disabilities, some people help animals, some people bring help to the front line, and that's how it is.
Yet at the same time, it's also, I mean, like, not the, like, it's the reality is that there is exhaustion. I mean, it's like you can be like fight for 1 year, you can fight 2 years. The solidarity is getting smaller, you're becoming more alone. And like with all of that exhaustion and with all of that like pressure that comes, and I mean like you face in a huge empire that has unlimited like resources of weapons, unlimited human resources, unlimited like you can like have a war for years. And this is like a thing that can be a parallel. I felt like that's how to be aware of that with all of that. Either you need masses like of movement, you know, that you can really hold each other, space for each other, be emotional, like to process of all of that work, and that how to make it sustainable. Because this is also a thing, you know, there can be like a lot of adrenaline and cortisol is like shit in your head, like you can don't feel anything and do a lot for a long period of time. But then it's like this is also questions of like how to make movements and resistance sustainable, but for that you need really a lot of mutual support and a lot of people who, in the moment when you cannot hold anymore, you know, can say, hey, you know, like, now it's my turn, go rest. You know, now you can have your like weeks of rest and do anything. And now I'm your front line, now I'm doing for that. And I think this is interesting also, like how to build this mutuality of that. Not maybe everyone is like, you know, that not blaming and shaming each other, that, you know, like, I'm like, you know, fighter, and you're like resting and meditating and having your food, like, because there is this dynamics of, you know, like, I do all the activism, you know. So the reaction of, I mean, trauma, like pain and all of that just speaks for you, and so I think that this is kind of reciprocity, and you know, like in exchange, I think this is also about sharing resources in terms of like physical, even like physical being physically who is active, you know, that you can rest and then exchange. And,
It's a really important point now because we started with the urgency of 21st of November 2024, but it's going to take long. You know, it's how to also move in these long processes and acknowledge also, I mean, reproduction and yeah. It's not only about having children or not, but really allowing ourselves to rest as well. Like, yeah. You wanted to say something.
Yeah, also to contribute a little bit to the question of who can make solidarity and who can be solidarity more stronger in our society. I know from my perspective, I am a little bit frustrated about the solidarity with the Roma and Sinti community here in Germany, but also in the Europe. And I think you know why, but I am 7 years active by raw material and also police here in Berlin, and I try to put this topic in all of the social areas that we have, and also in the arts and so. And I can see that we have a movement also in the sociality. For example, for Berlin, a lot of people enjoy us, and also when I go to a workshop or to a discussion, public panel or something like that, all of the people understand me and yeah, perfect. What do you say is very important, and I see it, and I mean, so okay, maybe. But when I do a protest to save the memorial, nobody from 100 people there was in this panel was there.
That's normal.
Yeah.
And at this point, I am so frustrated.
Yeah.
So, but I see a change, but it's very, very slow. And for example, the time today here, me and Nadia, and we are here and we can speak or we can be a part of this gallery here is a very, very important point, and also a fact that something moves, but it's too slow. And you asked before why you are afraid. I have a lot of friends. They are not so politically active, and they say also our world, you don't can save our world because it's too late.
That's risky.
And I don't want to think like that, and that's why I'm afraid. I don't want to think like that we can do nothing.
But this is now the challenge of. I'm sorry.
I believe that we can do something, and we can do something together. And I see in all of your eyes and all of your presence here that my dream can be utopia, can be real. Yeah.
Can we make a commitment that the next time you go to protest, you call us? Yes?
Need a WhatsApp group.
This is something that is doable.
Yeah.
I mean, like small steps, no?
This is what I am afraid of. Dying alone and no one notices me.
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm
Me too.
like the single woman that will probably try to get a child on my own, alone in this, I don't know, it's really, I'm afraid that no one will come when I need, when I want to call and they ask. Everyone says, yes, that's great, but then, where are you? This is my, and it's not great, it's old. Probably from my grandmother's. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, like I just want to go like a bit further to the past and acknowledge the fact that like workers were fighting for their rights for like hundreds of years. And they were being shot, and they were being beaten, and they were being placed in jails. But the legacy of their actually struggle, at least on the West, and the benefits we have of this social system, as we know it was fought by the women and men which were actually standing face to the face to the armed police officers and soldiers. Or the tribes in Southern America or globally in the world which are making protests and dying from narco cartels or the gunshots from the companies which are partnering with our companies from the West. But still, some of them succeed in their fights and they keep their land. And this is just like showcasing that at least we have a framework through which or in which we can work in, and that's the democratical umbrella. And we actually owe to act to all of this history of actually fights which were being also made for us. So if we continue actually, I wouldn't even say that we should fight. We should just like find ways how to work, because fighting also takes a lot of energy. It's possible to actually also transmit this part of the legacy to the further generations, because I already see, talking with like younger generations, they mean that they function completely different, and that's a challenge.
They function completely different.
I think like that you, I don't know what's in our generation, but I just like see that like we also experience of like living in different contexts and also like having your own like lifestyles which are like maybe different than mine. It's also like the way how people just don't want to like not fight for against something, but just like act for something. So yeah.
We're totally over time. Right.
I just wanted to ask
Nine.
about that.
About the time, or
Yeah.
It's 9,
9:10.
9, 10.
it's 9:10. Yeah. Is it okay?
Do we have?
I have one more question. I don't know if there is some energy about it. If you want to, I will just drop it and then we'll see, and then we can get a dessert. There is also this word of transnational, and we're all sitting here talking about countries that are not exactly here, or like, yeah, how do you see a potential or like this act in a transnational solidarity, or like how can we do something for other, I don't know, or maybe even transgenerational as well, like expanding this solidarity mode, not only here on the table, but yeah, how can we act together with the women in Poland, or like, I don't know, like, do you see this as something that's in your practice, or, yeah?
I mean, there's something that I've been thinking a lot lately, and me and Maria, we're actually talking about maybe like something that our collectives are interested in, which is learning about the cultures that are like in this region that we come from, which is like a very diverse region actually. And we were talking about how this region, which I mean, I guess it's maybe like the borders of this region are fluid, but I'm thinking about what happens east of German border and like southern Europe and Caucasus, right? And I don't know, also like a bit in Baltic countries, you know, Eastern Bloc, you know, that kind of those kind of places. And I feel like in this European context, you know, this region, for many people, or like for the Western people at least, you know, like becomes very like vague, you know, and I feel that, you know, for me at least, you know, I can maybe like share my own experience, you know, even though like I was growing up in Poland, so like, you know, as part of this region, and also, I mean, now I'm like 41, and also I had the chance to live also through like different periods of time. But I was thinking about how actually maybe because of this situation of like this region being sort of like trapped between Russia and West, you know, how I would say, like at least I think it is somehow like a very strong thing in Poland where, you know, people really want to be part of the West because somehow it's like safer than, you know, maybe being endangered by like some Russian invasion, you know, like in the past or also now, you know, and how like this somehow like this like looking towards West, you know, it's like a little bit erasing our identity and also just kind of like taking away the understanding of like what is happening in this region between like Germany and Russia, and how like people are connected with so many different things, like, you know, like culture, languages, and also like the similar struggle kind of, you know, and yeah, I don't know, we were just talking about how our collectives want to somehow like amplify, you know, like the culture and like the voices of people from this region, and also like in the sense of like educating ourselves about it. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't want to like speak for you, but and sorry, can you remind me what was the question, because I was going. Transnational solidarity. No, I mean, yes, like, you know, I just feel that somehow like our experiences, you know, like there's like so many similarities there, and also what I was thinking about was, for example, how now somehow the Ukrainian struggle and like the Palestinian struggle is, you know, like some people are putting it like in opposition to each other, you know, because I don't know, maybe Ukrainians are white or something like this, and I mean, it angers me so much, you know, because ultimately I feel that like this just doesn't make sense, and that we all share so many different things, you know, and sorry, I mean, I'm getting chaotic, but I was also thinking about like Roma people, for example, you know, how, I mean, I guess where I'm going with this is that like, I don't know, maybe everybody's like more advanced than me, you know, but like it was a little bit of a revelation for me to like really stop looking towards the West, you know, because somehow it's like so comfortable to be part of it, and really like, yeah, acknowledge these experiences that we have, you know, and also like regarding Roma people, you know, I was actually like thinking about how I feel like Roma people are really in like this position that like really there's not so much awareness about who they are, you know, and like their stories, you know, and like people really just even like don't think about don't think about Roma people, you know, at all. So like they maybe don't come to these kind of protests because they don't even know what is, you know, like what is going on, like where this is coming from, you know. Like these voices are really not amplified, and now kind of like linking back to my world skill from before, you know, I feel like also this idea of like, for example, like what racism is, you know, like it has like a completely different I don't know, shape in this region that I was talking about, you know, and it's very different from like I don't know, like racism that is happening in the Western Europe, you know, and also to understand like the multitude of these identities that somehow are present in this region and also like are being oppressed, you know, and like, but at the same time, you know, like all of us there are like intertwined and like sharing these stories, you know, and I feel like, I don't know, I guess maybe just learning about like our history and our identities is also just, I don't know, very precious.
I think it's similar reflections in Hungary. I didn't live there for very long, only for 3 years as an adult. And I was very surprised that when leftist groups or people who were a bit more engaged politically were always talking about racism against people. That's the only kind of racism that can exist. And racism can only be against black people, mostly black people in the US. And no one really ever thought about racism that's happening in Hungary. And there was a lot of horrible things that I don't want to repeat now because there is no point, but it was really surprising that even when there was Black Lives Matter protest in Hungary, no one ever thought about Roma people being also discriminated against in Hungary. And yeah, that's how it have that. That's another point, but I completely forgot to the arrival of
Yeah,
the
now this is arriving.
I don't like sweets, but
But what I can add to the question actually about how we can learn about different culture or how we can work together. Berlin is actually quite a good place where a lot of migration organizations here, and I mean there are a lot of meetings and like all sort of communities around. So like whenever there is an interest, I think all these people would be much more happy to talk about cooperation, writing projects, or invite you to the meetings. And also if there are some groups are not representing in Berlin, they are in Europe, because communities come from all over the world. And like for example those Erasmus programs, I don't know if they're gonna be cut in some futures, but yeah, like they are also open for cooperations, for looking for partners, for different projects on exchange and so on. So that's the way how one can work.
We also have
The Swedes are taking all the attention.
and if anyone dares to try Krash.
But maybe the way to support each other is by projects, because there has to be money in it. Otherwise we have time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, but again with cuts, one have to think like what one can do.
We can try to find a way around, just apply for different things.
Yeah, but yeah, that's of course
Yeah, we should.
why people sit together here. I guess it's also like find a point of interest.
We can apply for Erasmus, that's true.
Erasmus. I mean, it's even within Berlin. I mean, like how many migration organizations you met? You know, like if that's so many. One, I mean, Pankov alone has like around 30.
We will have the desserts
and
now.
they are all from all kind of
Then if you
countries.
feel like maybe
So that's
opening the door maybe a little bit so we have a break. And then after the dessert, I would invite the conversation back in the small room, cozy, for some seat saving.
Maybe we
We
did
had
this
some
first.
The drink is enough.
Yeah, I hope that's not the grass that makes you agree with the opposite. Yeah, stuck in the hopeless
Aber
Сейчас будем, я мне будет отсюда писать. Я говорю, возможно. Я же educated. Одно дело, ходить на митинг, это неправильно.
Yeah, that make it very long. Okay, now my time is in a very long time, so I would like to stay here. Please have more questions. Give out some flyers. Weil ich habe das auf Instagram schon gespürt.
Also kannst du jederzeit. Also das ist kein Muss, du musst ja nicht. Da.
Aber es ist echt so wichtig, was du sagst. Und es ist so gut, dass du hier bist. Weil, also, du weißt nicht, du weißt wirklich nicht, wie gut das ist. Weil wir können nicht, also normalerweise würden wir auch Frauen sprechen, wenn es dazu kommt. Also wir sind alle sehr zivilisiert und aware und kritisch. Aber es ist nicht das Gleiche. Es geht nicht darum, was du gesagt hast, dass du alles konzentriert bist. Das ist
Ich habe das nochmal so drauf geschrieben, so, wer ist schuld daran, dass meine Community
Das Ding ist nicht, dass ihr unsichtbar seid. Also, ich finde, da ist so viel Power in der Raum-Community und so viel Solidarität, dass man eigentlich von euch lernen kann. Das Ding ist, dass
Vor allem zum Thema.
Tanja meinte, wir müssen uns um euch auch kümmern. Weil ihr könnt nicht die ganze Zeit kämpfen und tun und seid nicht wieder. Wir müssen uns miteinander einfach mehr füreinander da sein.
Das ist so wichtig.
Ja.
Es gibt so viele Beispiele, wo ich gedacht habe, so, jetzt hätte ich das wieder. Die waren in einer.
Das nächste Mal ruft uns an. Wirklich. Nee, schreibt Oliver und Social Media, die schreiben uns alle an. Wenn du so einen Moment hast, wo seid ihr alle?
Genau so, wo seid ihr?
In Bulgarien, weißt du, wo seid ihr? Hey, komm! Ich bring meine Familie. Die kommen mit den Bussen aus Bulgarien.
Ja, wir haben diese großen Dinge gemacht, Menschen aus der Community. Also halt von der Aktivisten. Also nicht mal so meine Familie oder meine Mutter, die nicht mal weiß, was Politik ist. So Menschen,
Stimmt, auch nicht die Community.
zu der Politik, aktivistisch sind.
Ja.
Ich habe
Es ist für alle gerade bei euch war das schon immer so. Das ist schon so lange so.
Christine, ich glaube, einen mehr. Okay.
Ja, danke, dass ich hier sein.
Ah, die sind schon weg?
Bis Sonntagabend.
Also, für dich, oder?
vorbei oder schick Freunde rum.
Es gibt ja am Sonntag noch diesen Moment für das Abbauen und so. Also, es gibt noch die Möglichkeit.
Ja, aber
in der E-Mail
schreibt
steht das, genau, Sonntag um 17 Uhr, 17 Uhr. Können wir halt hierher kommen und unsere Datum nehmen, aber uns einfach nochmal sehen. So. Also Sonntag 17 Uhr, so damit wir hier zumachen. Und dann, also wenn es klappt.
Ich hab's mir angewöhnt, ey, Rachel, ja. Ich hab immer Glück, dass irgendwas im Westen passiert. Also irgendwo
ja, das geht
ja. Nein, das ist nicht, das ist der andere Seite.
Ach, du hast bestimmt hell aus
Richtig im Osten, ja. Ja. In Neukölln.
Ja. Da beim Tempelhofer Feld.
Da,
Ja, hau einfach rein.
Sind Sie die ganze Zeit? Hast du keine Jacke?
Viel Glück bei der Schule.
Ganz bald. Sehr gerne.
Bis zur nächsten Demo.
Ja, sehr gerne. Ich werde euch wieder eine schicken und
Okay, super. Ja, folgt euch jetzt auch auf Instagram.
Tschüssi.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Maybe then we don't need the extra. Do you know when you did it?
I don't know.
For those nice to see you. I think we all mind. Yes, maybe my I will come with you. Yes, please
Aber Shamis bringt sie auch langsam wieder rein, wenn wir weitermachen. Also, kein Stress.
Was möchte der Bach?
Etwa 80 an eine Lagerung noch kommen. Oh, sehr gut.
Is it called?
Wait. Now I have also my other favorite.
The cookie. Caramel. What is this cream?
It's fermented cashews with lemon and a bit of syrup.
Wow. Fermentation is just so fun.
Magical.
And fun, no? So if I have questions, I can ask you. You both of you? Yeah? Okay, I want to do more there in our hall. I haven't done a lot of them. And I want to build also the fire. One day.
Yes, we unexpected to have a dryer because on the wooden stoves we have
The wooden stoves now in winter.
Yeah, we have wooden.
And then very
On top of it and dry things. Which I didn't know before. It's amazing.
very, like what kind of
All kinds of wooden stoves. They are all have some kind of topic and things on. Any wooden stove.
I have in the kitchen hexer, like this big one.
Yeah, you can dry it just on the side where you don't have the
Just on
fire.
the side where the fire is on the other side.
Yeah.
I can put things and
Yeah,
Что-то добью воду потом.
It's amazing. And I realized it was
What you were talking about?
drying, how to dry stuff. With a dryer.
Right.
I said it there every day. I'm drying everything now.
Water is drying.
I soak this usually before eating them, so I dry them after. Seeds, like 1 ounce sunflower seeds. I soak them for a night at least. I always forget, so usually more. And I dry them after. Soak them. Yeah, so and like I like to go there. Yeah, otherwise they're very heavy. So when you
soak them and then you dry them.
Yeah, I heard that people they also put them in the oven.
You can take it home.
Yeah, like if you don't have the type of oven, you can soak them in like 50 degrees.
I like you can go with
it takes forever. At 50 degrees in the oven is really forever.
I think we're gonna put a little bit more.
Yeah.
Drying. The choice of drying. Yeah, and I was drying.
Achso, einfach mit der Hand. Ne?
What I really like about those things like drying and fermenting is being aware of the time. Like really,
yes, it's taking
Retten wir Samen. Also wir putzen
coming
quasi.
out of this survival urgency is really, it extends my time as well. And also my capacity, when I have an extended time, my capacity will also be bigger.
You can really read the culture that in a moment when we settled, I mean, when we started to actually have a home in the sense of where we would stay and cook and die and eat and celebrate, that fermentation occurred because it needs time, and with some of these products you need to actually daily keep it. So in Japan, for example, people ferment vegetable in some sort of like a mush. It's like a sand, but it's full of bacteria, which you have to actually move every day. But it can last for 1,000 years if you move it every day.
That's amazing. No, I wish for a practice like this.
There is many.
There's many.
Yeah, no, I mean to do something in my life that I do every day and it stays for 10 minutes. I'm very sourdough. I'm like
Sourdough.
a little bit like small dictator here. I want something that stays for downstairs.
Как я тебе надо в
Yeah,
духовку
sourdough.
8 минут, это называется einfache Fixierung. Может, это имеется в виду хит?
You want to accompany no. Yeah, someone.
Ja.
Thank you. Before, please enjoy your dessert and this amazing cake and cookies.
Willst du was?
And actually, we were thinking, but we're not sure now, about saying something about Urbane Praxis, also as a Verein or as a structure. If you don't feel like this, there is also the magazines and the brochure there, no, because we also don't know how long Urbane Praxis will exist. But it is somebody to say anything. But it is a structure that some people were fighting for a long time, and yeah, you're hosting us here, which is great. So I don't know if you feel like saying a few words, and then we will move to the seed saving after we finish also our dessert and continue with hopefully more seed saving and hopeful discussions. Where do we take it from here? Yeah.
I can start. You can add any.
Please.
So
we munch while you're talking.
So Urban Practice is an association. It started as an initiative. God, when did it start? You were there.
2020.
Okay, 2020.
Before my time.
Yeah, also before my time there. And now it's an association holding more than 100 members from different organizations. But it started out as a very privileged group in the scene, in the artistic architecture scene. And it grew like it also, I would say. Christine and I, we know each other because we worked there together, and we wrote this application, but it was more coming from us, not from the urban practice. It was more our own interest, and also because we talk about, since 2 years we talk a lot about how we could change this association, and also the point of view on urban practice, how the discourse is right now being dominated by certain people in the architectural field and artistic field, and we really try to change a lot from within the organization, which is very, very exhausting. I have to say I'm very critical of the organization, even though I'm a board member. I became a board member because I wanted to change things, and it's very frustrating. But this project, I think, came more really from us, and from also, Dana also contributed a lot, and then stepped in and took it over also, and filled it up with a lot of life and hope. Yeah, it is. It's like that. So that's.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing this to the next step and realizing it, and getting in touch with all those lovely initiatives that are here today on the table. And thank you all for being here. This makes me hopeful.
And how is it you feel like there is a possibility to continue something from here? I mean, we are towards self-organization, but maybe there is
We have the luxury, I think up until now we have the funding for next year within the for the organization, because it doesn't come from the Cultural Senate, it comes from the National Senate. And it gives a lot of privilege in this situation.
Which Senate?
City development. So we will have our normal funding for the association next year, and actually we wanted to continue with the topic, and also the networking within the topic of self-organized practices around care that we said already in the beginning of the year that it will be continued.
Amazing. Thank you for your work. Thank you for writing this application and making this possible.
Very much.
Seed saving? Yes, always. So, on the topic of hope, I brought seeds that we already cleaned with a lot of other very enthusiastic seed savers, and then I have some others that we can clean. The ones that I brought, I chose because they have been the plants that we found in Berlin during horrible droughts growing out of the concrete. And it's really fascinating how plants in even these really horrific dire conditions of concrete and all the smoke and all the heat and no water and people stepping on them and the dogs peeing on them, they can still somehow survive. And so we wanted to give them a little bit of help in dispersing their seeds, because both me and Elise, who we are doing most of our work together, are very frustrated about the idea of nature conservation as letting things outside of people just be, and seeing humans as just destruction and force of destruction and outside of nature. So the best thing that we can do for nature is to just isolate it from us and let it be. But that doesn't work also because we have done so much harm already and everything changed so much. There is no such thing as a pristine wilderness and pristine nature. So we are just interested in small practices of care for other species, especially plants, because we're really into plants. So I am
bringing these seeds kind of wherever I go and asking people to take them and plant them, and maybe if they have a little bit of extra water for them, when they are going to, I don't know, to work or to school or wherever on their way, they can water them. We planted a lot of seedlings on the streets and gave away a lot of weed seedlings at some point, which was really fun because we just grew seeds of plants that no one wants to usually grow but are really good at surviving here. So maybe we can do that too. And on another level, we are just really interested in doing this seed work because we are all coming from people who have been interested in plants and who have been connected to plants and and people who had relationships to plants that were mutually benefic and who they mutually belonged to each other or depended on each other. And it's only a few generations that some of us are completely separated from it, but to some extent we are all living in some kind of diaspora from people who did have connections to plants, and when saving seeds and interacting with them and making a little gesture for the plant of maybe just keeping the seed and passing it on to someone or caring for it even in the long run and planting it, it really brings back this connection and hopefully it wakes up something in people. And also it's just a really nice activity to sit around and clean seeds in a circle or whatever shape, because I feel like many of us forgot how to have a conversation and it's really hard to talk to each other, but when you have something to do with your hands, somehow it helps, even those who are a bit more antisocial or not good at speaking. So whenever we were doing that, it was really nice because people intuitively started to share stories of plants and seeds. And most of the plants that we know, we don't really know their stories. And most of the food we eat, as it was already mentioned, we don't know where they are coming from. And we just don't really have the habit of telling stories about plants and seeds. But somehow, I'm overselling it now, and now I'm telling you how you're supposed to be acting while we're doing this. So maybe it will not work, I'm jinxing it, but often people are sharing stories, which is really nice. So I brought some stuff. Unfortunately, all the beautiful weedy plants, we already cleaned them, but I do have a bit more. I also have seeds from our garden that we had in Budapest, which was on a wasteland in the middle of the city. We called it a queer eco-feminist community park and nature preserve, just to throw this out there and see how people react, and for us to be accountable to this name and also to be a bit, I don't know, just cheeky and use these terms in Hungary. So we have some seeds from there, and we can just sit in a circle. It was suggested that we sit on the ground. We can do that, or we can also do it here. But it's already quite a lot of stuff. But I don't know, as you prefer.
Is everyone okay with sitting?
I don't know.
I think
Let's go keeping the circle would be quite cool on the floor, like it's
great.
sharing.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Great. Then I go
Let's
and
go.
get some stuff in my bag. So delicious. Something in some way the garden where I was working last year. And some of the plants were actually found by people for whom they were important. There was a plant I walked down, called a fruit plant that became my grass. So I was very happy. Yeah. And there were some kids from Ghana who recognized a specific kind of eggplant who were coming to describe them in the area. Kind of stuff works. There is some yellow, I know. This is some verbena. This is some amaranth. They are the easiest to see. And then I have some sunflower seeds. I started to plant this sunflower when I lived in New York, and I had a very detached life from anything in life. I worked as an architect, and there was a wasteland in front of my office, and with one of my co-colleagues, we went there at 6 a.m. before office hours to plant some sunflowers, and it grew, and we collected the seeds after, and we keep replanting it everywhere. I planted it in Budapest, I planted it in Dublin where I was last year, and I planted it again this year, so we should take some of them too. Yes, and then you all have papers because it really helps to keep the seeds. You can just go each side and yes, so yes, so
needing seeds means to, like, I don't know, take them off like the stem and kind of like make them ready to plant.
yes, so they are all in this extra fibrous little house. Keep them away from germinating too early and exercise some food it. And you have to do the detective work of finding the seeds and all the different. I can also help, but you can just take it apart and try to observe which is the more dark and more hard part of it. I can show you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And here is the same.
Yes, that's not citrus. Yeah, this one is super easy. Take it apart. And this one, yes, exactly.
That's it.
Oh my God, this is so small. Is that the seed? These are crazy. And they're so beautiful. They're shining. Oh wow. It is so. From these small seeds, there's no one very shiny. That's crazy. That's actually some mango seed. It's a kind of basic shell in the classic mango seed. It has it's very very delicious. And it has yeah, the little black one. And these ones? Those are extremely tiny. It's the hardest one. And this one is so hard to find that the way is to just I don't know what is this called. Yeah, so it's these
We're going 30, okay?
they are kind of impossible to find. This tiny one
Ja, nimam zrak telefonoga, ne znam, puno ljudi. Probao. Da.
Ali med.
Yeah, but not so much anymore. Like I just put this in the ground, will something grow or?
Yes, it just so it takes a bit longer because the cover needs to decompose first, and also you will have many next to each other,
Okay.
and you might not need so many next to each other. So, but sometimes we just we don't clean them like this. We just make the whole thing kind of I don't know,
Like with Amaranth, probably.
yeah. That's what we're doing. I'm not gonna stop you. You just wanted to do something that takes long, so I'm not gonna stop you.
The revenge, because we made her miss her train. Now she has so much time until the next exercise.
I'm happy to be here. It's really nice to be here. My dog will take revenge on me, not me.
Oh, and I got to know Anna because of your cooking skills also.
Yes, that's true.
Cooks and puppies also. Just great food.
Yes, really.
I remember this taste of the Mexican.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you. It was a local Mexican. It was tacos out of all kind of local grains.
So much work.
So much work. And there is a lot of different techniques that makes it a bit better. So one thing I brought this
Please make it worth it.
drop thing. Yes,
You did a great job.
Thank you. I have this mat. Yeah, Alex. So there is this little fun tool that makes it much easier. It has all kind of different, I don't know, holes in it, sizes. And when you take all the seeds in your hand and I forgot this name in English, when you do this movement with your hands and kind of break all the husks, you can filter with this or the husks or the seeds, depending on the size. So if you find one that just the seeds pass through, then you can filter out the husk. Or you can break the husk into tiny pieces and then filter it through this and it keeps the seeds. And then you can also put the seeds on a plate because they're usually heavier than the husks. And when you blow on them, you can very gently just blow away the little plant debris and keep the seeds. That's another one that helps a lot. But not with these. Wow. Is it?
This technique doesn't work with that, right?
No, for yarrow, it's amazing, but what we do with yarrow is that we just break all of them and then we plant the whole thing. Because it's impossible to take the debris and the seeds apart if you don't have some mysteries.
Under the microscope.
Yes.
They become so fragrant, like like when you take the shells away, like they start smelling. So it's okay. Nice.
Yeah, no, they are really amazing.
This is the next one, and this is this. What is this?
That is kursi.
Oh wow. Kursi. You have a project.
Yes. So I can show you. You need to start with a square. Actually, I sometimes make those tiny ones. So I make a really tiny one. So you do a little triangle here, and then you cut the rest. And then you go into the and then you
then from one put the seed.
That's a common thing. Here, you can put one seed.
For the tiny ones.
I was usually doing this at the Liberty Mondiale papers, and I had so many printed of the dumb base, especially. And I thought I was there in them. Just not really. So you can do it with their bad practice papers. Throw them away.
So burn them.
Sorry, I'm just home.
But it looks like there are two types of building.
No.
I've got
Maybe some of them are unhappy and they didn't show the seats. So some of them I think are not cool. But it's okay.
But which one are the good ones?
The bigger ones, yeah.
But they are not.
No, the bigger ones are good. The small ones, they were just, I think, too down. They didn't manage to.
You can plant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, exactly. Exactly. It's nice to give all of them a chance. Exactly.
There's this also nice practice of the seed balls. That you mix it like with soil in balls, like a form of urban activist that you just walk in and throwing them.
Also not exactly sure. But that's also a nice idea of hope. This kind of, you never know. Like something like this. Why should you stop doing it?
To throw it.
You still need to
It's like a lot of beautiful butterflies that it will.
Yes, it's what you see. Or not.
Or not.
You cannot know.
Might not. Might just be not about.
Why, sorry?
I have to think about the chili.
Yeah, that's what
They are brown.
No.
So actually we will we went to this beautiful village. It was just amazing because everyone was so nice and welcoming. I was destroyed.
More touristic side also was it felt like summer, just like you don't escape all of the white tourists in the small town, 300 people, nobody gives a shit, everybody smiles at me, everybody's nice, nobody bothers. It was like, we felt like we arrived, and then like, come.
And the neighbors were like, and they really meant it, like they were always there.
You were testing them, not like to really bit.
No, but this was just like coming from Germany. This was just so nice. And then you have to tell the story.
And then this one evening I went out for a walk and then my feet started to come
Yes,
they were on the street and they were taking chilies and I walked up to them and started chatting with marriages and the woman was having a chili and I was about to bite and she was looking at me. Take it home, landed in Germany and then next to you chili and then I planted them. I looked it up and I was like 6 months later when we supposed to have them. So I'm still going to try. Maybe it will still work out. And now some of the plants are like this high. And they start to bloom and like the first chili started to.
And the most beautiful thing happened because all grew them and gave this flower me as a gift birthday gift.
The chilies are coming soon.
Yeah.
Chilies are coming soon.
So my trip is still at
Her birthday's on June.
Trees are coming soon. That means that they need to be planted soon. Now they're growing, like they have
trees are growing.
fruits, basically. So you mean like the fruiting is gonna happen soon?
Yeah,
But even if you plant them like here,
Inside.
like inside in a pot.
they were actually they started to grow in the balcony. that
I don't know if they were like grown now. But I still have 4 chairs at home for next year.
That's a son of a bunch. Because I was like, I'm not gonna start there. Just took me only like 1 or 3 maybe. And then I realized how many seats I have because it's just like this size. So it makes sense.
I love how that
what to do, how to spend your time, where to put your attention. Yeah.
It's often like the conversations does all of these things already.
And I was like, I've also really changed in the last 15 years. And it became so important for me to hold myself accountable. Like, really like push myself also. And be like, okay, sometimes I'm just overwhelmed. Don't go to your projects with no emotion. But then, always when I push myself to do the things, I actually feel that they're the right thing to do. It's always good in the end. I always find with more energy, even though the moment is maybe in the present more exhausting. But it always gives me some energy in the end. Yeah.
And even sometimes along the way of creating this event and being forced with everything that happens around the world and like feeling like not having the energy to leave the house by anything. But then like hearing back from all of you and being like, hey, this is so nice what you're going to do and it's important and we're happy you're creating this space that you make us hope to keep on pushing and do it. And it's so nice that everybody that shows up and yeah, also the mentality that we were dealing with now was much nicer.
They're all true. Because they're probably in the sense of shame or something like what should they do this, allow us some joy, it's like, but you sit at home and like, like taking your hope. I mean like alone or just sit together and it doesn't bring like something where you can take your souls like nourishing. Yeah, and sometimes I thought like, or we got taught that we get strength or resources from consumption, buying stuff. It's always the opposite, like, I don't know.
What does it mean, Vikyardana? Get the fuck out.
Read it?
Vikyardana.
Do you want to say something about
just shortly, that is like 8 years of activities, full-time activism in solidarity with people, women and LGBT people in Poland. And we started 2016 with demonstrations like that one, the Black Protest, that was the main one, the first one, big one, in Warschauer Straße. And then
it's here.
In Berlin. And we organized like, I don't know how many demonstrations, different ones, and performances like this one here. But that was on a kind of, to make abortion in Germany legal, to delete the paragraph 219A, which was succeeded. But I was making little performances for activists, so we can see a little, not a script, but a storyboard. I'm usually drawing them for people because no one will read the script. So I made little drawings and take people from the street and say, you will play this, you will play this. You just put it up, turn around, and people do it. and everybody's happy. Yeah, because people like to, if I like to make a theater, I would have to pay the money, make a script, it would take hours and rehearsals. But for demonstrations, it's just quite simple, and everybody wants to do it because, yeah. And, to make it short, I also made many banners and transparents on like this textile, on lace. Yeah, so they are actually artifacts, transparents from the
Did you have it?
So it's of course a lot more, but I just chose a few little ones.
I am there.
Yeah. But I will
Well, it's actually only me now.
no.
Really?
Yeah, because we, for many demonstrations, people came. We did something, we made a demo or like a whole month of demonstrations, and then everybody left, and I'm still there doing it. Answering phone calls, writing emails, and making a website, and okay, one friend is also there, but she's a job.
But you continue doing it,
Yeah. A little bit different and not full time anymore. Even though actually again today some journalists wrote, can you tell me about this doctor who was sentenced in Poland? I have no idea, but then I had to Google, read it. What is the situation in Poland? So I do these things. I could have done something different, but I
Yeah, but today also some kind of video surfaced about the situation with abortion in Germany for some reason. I'm not sure why it sounds like it's what was the occasion that something like this came up today, but maybe there's also something.
Merz and it's actually.
Yeah, because and also some parties they finally applied to make abortion kind of not a criminal act in Germany. Now it's a criminal act.
And then Merz said this is actually a shame or something.
A shame why?
That this part was signed. These people should be ashamed.
Who?
Merz said, yeah, like said it all the time. Yeah, this was like around social media, at least in my algorithm.
Yeah. Things are changing, no?
I say
My family told me also like this. Very annoying.
For example, the S and the I is Shosper. And the C with the stop is T with the Galach.
Knowledge language and change.
It's the most important one.
You probably already know one word.
This is the
Yeah.
And there is that
So we're gonna meet
Part of part is that it's at least as deep as the sea itself. We have to cover it. Usually that's the rule for a sea, as deep as the sea itself.
I'm gonna leave this.
This one down by maybe half a centimeter. The
Should
sunflowers,
we look
yes.
at the salad on the sides our
And amaranth, when I was planting it, I was just planting.
Just eat it.
Yeah.
Take it home and just bring it
No?
to the bus.
Not sunflowers.
And maybe I'm gonna stop by tomorrow just to wash
Amaranth,
it.
I think it's okay for amaranth.
Because then it's
Just spread them, but it's better to spread them a little bit deeper.
No, really.
And then just spread and then you put it in the soil. Yeah, that's perfect. It's just, at the beginning they're a bit, like if you dry out, you are not always there to water. And when you cover it a little bit, it helps it keep it moist. But some seeds actually need to have light for germinating. Yeah, so it's keep them fresh. And also don't forget there's all the seeds outside to take from. There's all the seeds to take from outside also.
So actually we don't need to do this work.
You can actually buy them in the shop also. Monsanto is selling really nice seeds, for example, if you're interested in that.
Wait, but actually, can you buy them in the shop? Because isn't it like
Yes, you can.
but like, aren't they a little bit different? Like, you know, these like industrial seeds, aren't they like some kind of
There's a lot of nice seed companies also.
Yeah.
Where you can buy them from.
No.
You have to feel
We're not selling it.
And
No.
what is
Selling experience.
this one?
No, but work. It's just nice to see them and think about them while you are now separating them, and then after you have a bit more commitment to them when you actually work.
As a souvenir, it's like literally just takes your fingertip and then you
Yeah.
can take it home and grow something that like gives you the taste of another place and like memories also, which is so beautiful.
A birthday present. Hey, I brought you a birthday
Like for example, this size.
Yeah, these ones.
So I just show you. Yeah, but I make this up.
For my grandma's birthday, she gave me a summer.
I would think, so yours might open, but I make some bigger ones. So I would that is Lucy. It's a type of basil. It's called holy basil. It's so delicious.
Laura,
Yes.
what was the story of your father and the mango?
Oh, but I killed the mango.
It happened.
Dad had like a mango and came to my house and he brought me the can, like the, what is it? Seed? Yeah, like a big one from the mango, and he gave it to me and he said like, okay, you have to plant it now and care for it, because it's the best mango I ever ate in Germany. So now I'm sure there's more of it.
Wasn't it like
Not as
he
small as
first
that.
told you like you have to take care of it and like weeks later you were like, why actually did I do it? And it was because it was the best mango I had.
Yeah, maybe.
You were like, okay, this was the reason.
Then it's grown like very big, like this height, and then it struggled, and then eventually it died.
Was it indoor?
It was indoor, in like a pot. It was quite a big pot, but not big enough.
Did you give it showers?
I gave everything to
And if you want to make it really safe, you can also put a bit of tape on there.
Where is the tape? We have it here.
Yes. I also have some.
Oh, fine. No, not here. Maybe there.
I have some also in my backpack. Yes,
How is it? We have this moment on Sunday. There is this proposal. Like it could be a moment Sunday at 5 o'clock. You come here and take our things, and just to come at the same time. Back again. No?
So we thought it would be a nice proposal, but you want to
I can work there. I want to go to Leon's Unframed Festival. It should be exciting. You should all come.
Find us there. Yeah, but anyways, whoever has time and wants to come, we are here on Sunday.
It's a very nice week. we do have, I think we do have some Instagram channels, or like, how do you feel of separating each other, and letting this resonate with us, but we are also here for each other. It's definitely Pamela and all, and
I think for today it's just too much.
There's already a lot, no. I just wanted to say if there is any kind of process, because there was in the first part also a lot of fears. So please contact me. I do have also a place where we can do also one-on-one, so we can take the process and maybe finish it in a good way. Just to know that I'm here, no? Not to be like, oh, I'm stressed, something is going on, I don't know what's going on, something came up or whatever, please, come to my table. Like a nice massage as well. Yeah, it is part of the body work, so no, seriously, just to know. It's like
Some of the seats are okay, the other ones. You're too impatient for some of them.
Not for the massage.
There is also little empty jars for the seats that are cleaned, that you can put them in tape. They brought a few with just the tape on it.
I have one request actually that I'm taking with me. That maybe you want to share what you're taking with you, except great seats, plans. I really want us to not hide when we have tears or when there is mourning or grief. Yeah, I really don't like it when this society is like, I don't know, like when you have to go fast to the toilet because the tears are coming and something is going on. It's really good to be in a group like this. So thank you. Yeah.
For sharing and for guiding us through the evening. Really good to have one person also this time.
Yeah, especially also the first part was so important. I don't do embodiment work, so when I do facilitation, it's always just talking and writing. And that was so important actually to arrive together in the space and take time for it.
I just want to say thank you for the holding. We just want you.
The pocket is way too small. Yeah. Many seats.
You can put it in a
Well,
sock.
the ambition was
in a
too
shoe.
Huh? Not so fast. We have still a lot of jar. I don't know if we have jars, like maybe you have extra jar. Maybe that everyone can take a bit of this food.
I have so many jars.
I have
Maybe if you have like folia or something. So folia or to take like.
maybe let me check.
Ja, Alufolie oder
We will also let you know how the people react
Plastikfolie geht
to
auch.
the exhibition. If people come.
Oder so Kasch.
We saw some people were looking. Yeah, they will definitely enter from the speed.
few posts on Instagram.
Maybe you feel like more all of us that we know who is like so that we know
Yeah,
each
we
other.
can mark each other, yeah.
Maybe if we meet on Sunday or because now it's late, maybe we can make like a, because we used to do it with some friends of mine in Berlin. Everybody says if they need something. Somebody needs, let's say, a speaker for Friday, some other person needs a friend. I don't know, you know what I mean? So we can and then share, we can see.
But also we need,
Yeah.
you have to share what you need, that's great. And I'm not good at it, so that's really good.
We used to do it in girls, but it was working quite well.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So I have like three small tupper things and like 2 plastic gloves. It's weird, but and then some foil too. So this is what I got.
And I will take
Okay.
dirty bag. This one is maybe a bit
First minute here.
What is this Mexican class?
you can write H-U-C. I write it down.
I'm afraid that there are still seats here.
I don't know. Yeah.
There's so many.
If there is a lot, you can also put them back, and I will do another pass to listen.
Yeah, I think it's good, or you would, or
Yes,
I can imagine also putting this somehow in the soil because they are
Yes,
already
yes,
here.
yes, put it back here, and then I will also go through with this and also take at some point. Thank you.
This is honor.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I have also another thing. I forgot what it was. I mean, let me see. Maybe someone wants to see.
Yes, you can also put it in the
So you mean like to, you can take it? I'm just so now like twisted from bending over the seat.
For the witnessing us through the camera.
Oh yes, but being there.
So everything.
No.
Oh well.
I don't feel itchy anymore. And there is more gel somewhere if you want to also.
At some point I also had a video.
Yeah, I'm sending you
At some point I also had a video that
But is there some rest? I mean, like something like that I would take something in the
Yes, I have a lot of stuff outside. But there's also like, what kind of stuff would you like to take for the This one is flower, it's marigold type. So it has nice little yellow flowers, but on the other side, there are
this is what you.
Oh, yeah, this is the Mexican.
I see some.
No. This is
Maybe it will grow with. Yes, that's what it can do. But you should take some glutathione so that it should be amazing. I really advise you.
Is it okay if I know because I haven't cleaned all the music?
Yes. Just make sure you don't mix it. Yes. More or less, yes.
already stuff in.
No, I
No,
don't
then
think
the
so. It was
in sink. All the dirty stuff in the sink, and all the leftovers leave on the table.
If you want to print more of them, I can send you the design that I made. And where I put them.
Lecker. Möchtest du denn queers for Palestine oder tags oder also für dich habe ich die Ja, sind die geworden. Ich konnte mich wirklich entscheiden. Ich habe ein paar Leuten geschrieben und es war so irgendwo zwischen die zwei. Was glaube ich für Grün gefällt. Aber sind beide ganz schön geworden, gedruckt. Und auch, ich versuche, ich drucke die beide aus und dann wird es klar. Und es ist immer nicht klar, weil so gut geworden sind. Ja, keine Ahnung. Vielleicht sehen wir, wie auch die werden. Das Design habe ich auf einem
I have to go. I want just to say thank you for the lovely food and for your speech. It was really inspiring. I will think about it.
We will meet again.
Sunday?
Yes.
So no big goodbyes, but thank you. Thank you. I'm going because, I'm waiting. I mean, I'm so happy.
How old?
14. But we have
Very
to
happy.
But that's why I teach him. Listen, son, you have to learn how to see yourself. It's working, but it's not. But luckily, I don't have to see him being hungry. I come home and I make him food, so I don't even see him when he's hungry. It's not a good thing. Overrated however. So I'm going and saying goodbye from the right side. You all found you. And thank you so much. Thank you for this invitation. Yes. You're all great and it's a fantastic situation.
Yeah. That was an amazing one.
Which one? Which was it?
It was invitation.
No, not invitation, no.
Well, I need to leave. Really? Yeah. I think it's like two already. Because I'm
Really? No. Yeah. So you have to be in the time from Wow, she's here? No, she's not very hungry. Wow, that's it. Maybe you're not so unique.
Yeah, I think
maybe somewhere.
There's like
variations. Like two photos of the exhibition, like before. Yeah, I want to do it. So, but we see each other somewhere.
Yeah, let's do it again. Yeah, I mean, some different parts of the we can set together where it's a bit more they are smiling, they just
do a festival.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, someday. There's like always
No, but today I saw this company renting places like studios. They're called, I don't remember, but and also spaces for events, like temporary, like big ones. But
So you feel like
temporary spaces or
studios for longer term, but spaces for events, like conference or performance. However, if you look for, you know probably better than me where to apply, because you will more successful. But there's some, maybe we can join forces. As I understood, you do mostly projects yeah. So this is not so long.
Thank you.
Either because it's not. Okay, Dora.
I will also
I mean, Nadi initiated. Yeah, I heard to it. Yeah, Nadi.
And I
Thank you so much for the presentation and for everything that you shared.
Her body is like a big topic for her. Sensitive issue. So it was really great to see her like still going. I was really afraid that she would freeze. So it was great to see her, smiling. Which was awesome. So that was great to see. Yeah. So yeah, she. I mean, it kind of happened spontaneously. Where she was able to have for another reason, but then that whole plan collapsed. So yeah, all the plans fell into water, and nothing was then being able to utilize. And then she just made a small group of, I think it was like 6 of us. People, I have this table reserved for this festival.
Yes, here.
Was great meeting you. Yeah. I will have to leave at 2-3, so I'll do photos before that. So at 5 I won't be here anymore. But we see each other somewhere sometime. Yeah. Long story short, she brought together some friends on the Telegram group. Hey, I have this table, I don't want to give it away. What can we do to raise some funds for Gaza at this festival? Because it was a fundraising festival. What can we do? And then we were brainstorming for 2-3 days. And then she came up with the idea, what if we rent a button machine and we do custom buttons? And my first sustainable initial thought was, no, we don't need more plastic items in this world. But then she convinced me with the whole political situation and with kind of a silent protest when you're going on Kuban, wherever you're having them, etc. Like the benefits overweighted my sustainable concerns. And then we rented the machine. It turned out to be super successful. People loved it. And then, we got from Palestina Campania the donation to keep so we were able to keep the machine and not to just rent it, but to buy it. And then the rest is history. Then, we were just starting to collect the designs.
I ate one more that I made.
That's amazing.
Can you give these? Yes. Because I spent a lot of money printing many of them, but I was wondering if we can somehow.
So, do you have the file? Or, yeah, so you can just send me and then I can make you them. I mean, we only have this size.
That's perfect. I just made it small, just something very small.
Yeah. We only have the big ones, but yeah, they're allowed. Big ones,
Amazing, yes.
So that's amazing. Then you can.
But you will be there anyway, so.
I will be there on Saturday. Because on Sunday I need to do documentation of the space without people, like just the art pieces. And then I'm leaving for work just basically. And on Friday I'm also like doing other stuff. So I'll be there on Saturday. Then we'll see you on Saturday. But yeah.
Really tired because it's cooking all my time, literally until 7 in the morning. And
so send me the file and then wait, today is Thursday. I might have time tomorrow.
No, we can paper, so then
I cannot promise you, but there's a big chance that I'll have the file, the paper printed on Sunday, so we can make some fresh notes.
Because I made it before the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, people totally. People love them. It's really, as I was just explaining, it was really a spontaneous thing that happened, but it turned out really popular. So we decided to keep doing them and just grow the designs and. It's also great to like these events to do it there and then people kind of like give a comment or not maybe directly suggest a new statement, but we're just doing discussions with people. We're like getting new ideas for new designs or new texts. That's also true.
Okay, I have to go for my friend.
Sure. So we see each other on Saturday.
Yeah.
For sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's really nice to meet you. Yes. Enjoy.
Ja, genau. Ja, wir sind hier.
Or like a three-legged person. Starfish.
Well, it's way more tasty than ja, du kannst uns PayPal oder auf Insta schreiben und da bestellen. Aber ja, PayPal ist auch online lassen. Checken das von Nadia und sunflower.
Yes, randomly everyone is connected somehow. Yeah, come to visit us sometime. This
Ja, einfach mir schreiben oder auf Insta.
In the spring. There is a hospital festival about mostly Palestine, it's Friday, Sunday, Sunday. There's a lot of religious things. So I invite you. I'm very close. Okay, then you can come. Ready to come. If you follow us on Instagram, you can write to us there. And you have some nice stuff in the spring. So we do a lot of nice gatherings. So, come visit.
I'm curious that if you sometimes like organizing activities and we want to do some, plan this for next year and some,
Just for now, not really comfortable, but in the spring it's better. In the spring and summer, I think it's going to be more learning. But that's our long-term goal to be able to do that. Not long-term, medium term. Very good. Yeah, it's so that's an option. Okay, I have to go for my child. Thank you so much.
See you soon. Ciao.